Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. I'm your host, Pablo Pereira. Today we continue our special business preview series here along Agora Road at a brand new restaurant called Salt. All right, I know what you're thinking, but get this, there's literally hundreds of types of salt in the world, and the chef owner in here uses dozens of them in several different dishes. Let's go inside and check it out. All right, so we're here with David Eno. He is the chef and owner of Salt Restaurant here in Calabasas. Welcome and thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having us.
You've been here since when?
We opened in late October.
I got to ask you right off the bat, the name Salt.
The name Salt. Salt it came from the idea of everything here is very basic. Style of food, rustic California cuisine, very simple, very clean. What you read on the menu is what you get. So salt is one of your basic ingredients. So whether you bake or you cook, you always use salt. Anything you do in the kitchen requires salt. So that's where the name kind of came from for us.
So in its purest form, what is salt?
Well, it depends. So this here is a ghost salt that we're doing. It's got chili flake, the ghost chili flake in it, and the Himalayan pink salt. So the Himalayan salt is a salt that comes out of a mine. Versus the Hawaiian black lava salt, which is an ocean-driven salt. That's it's done in the lava tables that they do in Hawaii. Or the other one from Hawaii is a clay one that has a lot of minerality in it. So it just whether it comes out of the ocean or whether it comes out of the earth is just the biggest difference with them.
And what's this little thing up here?
This is a gift from a friend of mine. So it's just got a bunch of different flavored salts that come in.
So you said how many different types of salts are there that you know?
Oh, I don't know. I've probably got about 40 here. I want you to try this one. This one will blow your mind.
This is a what?
This one is called Kala Namak. It's from the Himalayas. Very high in sulfur.
Wow.
So it tastes like a boiled egg.
It really does.
Yeah.
And you say your friends send you salt all the time?
If people go out, they see it, they're somewhere and they see a different salt, so they'll buy it and send it to me.
And where's your background as far as the restaurant business? How did you start out?
I went to the Culinary Academy in San Francisco a long time ago. That was after college. I worked in restaurants through high school. Into college, still working in restaurants, front of the house stuff, waiting tables, managing. And then I was involved with hanging out with a lot of guys, cycling, that were chefs. And I enjoyed cooking, so I kind of got into cooking with those guys a little bit. Went to culinary school, then I moved back to LA after living in San Francisco for a couple of years and just started cooking in restaurants.
So what intrigued you about owning your own restaurant? You said you've done everything everything under the roof so far, and one day you decided I'm gonna take on this ultimate responsibility.
I was looking for work. I live out this way, and also looking at a couple restaurant ideas that I was bouncing around in my head on different concepts, different things to do. This restaurant had been on the market for a little while. The price was right, so we created a partnership, myself, my sister, and my father created this partnership to open a restaurant out here.
And why did you think Calabasas was a good location for you?
Calabasas is a great little city here. It's got so much going on, and living out here, living in Agora, the only thing that was missing out here were great restaurants. Design, feel of the restaurant, West Side style restaurant, kind of put out here in Calabasas. The style of food, the design of it, and it's a breakaway from the corporately owned restaurants, the chain restaurants. It's trying to create more of a neighborhood restaurant.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point. My wife says that all the time, that, why do we always have to go to the west side to go to a good restaurant? Not saying that there's not good restaurants here, but the type of restaurants you're talking about. Why do you think it's so over there and so not over here?
I think there's a bigger population over there. There's more draw over there. Not many people drive to Calabasas to go out to eat. Eventually, hopefully they will. We've got some great restaurants in the city now. Peddler's Fork open. They're doing a great job. We open. We've got, Lady Face in the Grow. There's all these great little restaurants out here now that, business is spreading.
So when you started this, obviously you always had someone backing you before when you were a chef. Where else did you work? You were telling me?
Before here, I was with the Beachcomber in Malibu. I spent a long time with McCormick and Schmick's in Beverly Hills. I opened the L'Ermitage Hotel. I opened Napa Valley Grill in Westwood. With Cafe Del Rey for a long time as well.
So what's the difference in opening it for someone else than opening it now for yourself?
There's less, I don't want to say there's less, but the hours are long. I'm here every day, but it's different when it's your own. When I'm working for myself, it's easier to be here every day than to work for somebody else, knowing I'm, working really hard for somebody else's pocket, so to speak.
What would you tell people who are interested in opening a business in Calabasas? How is your experience with the city and just opening the business?
The city is tough. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of things you have to go through. But I will say the guys at the city planning office were very helpful for me. There's still a lot of things that we'd like to do that just aren't allowed, or I haven't approached it in the right direction yet, like more signage. Signage is a very difficult thing in Calabasas. Things like that, but they're helpful. You go in there with a question, they're going to answer it for you. It's all, I think for me, it's all in that approach of I didn't know what I was doing, so I was relying on these guys in the office over there to help me out, and they were very good with the steps of this is what you need to do, and these are the people you need to contact. But other than that, I don't know. They were easy to work with. At the same time, there was a lot of things that we had to do that would made it difficult.
So you've been open a little while. What have you learned?
Great community. We've got a great support from the community out here. You come in on a Friday or Saturday night, and many people know each other in the restaurant. To me, that's a great feeling, that I'm building myself into this community. I live in the community out here, so we're building into it. And I think that's a great feeling for us. What we've learned out here is that people are really intrigued by food. They're willing to come in and they want good food. I've got this idea that I don't cook or serve anything that I wouldn't serve my own family. So if I wouldn't put it on the plate for my own family, I won't put it in front of you coming into the restaurant. There's no compromise on that part of it.
And the design of the restaurant, you did this yourself? Or
My sister did it.
So there was a woman's touch behind this whole
Yes,
thing.
she did the design of the restaurant. That's her little area of expertise. So.
And what was her feelings about it, her thoughts?
I don't know what goes on in that mind of hers. It's crazy. She wanted wood. She wanted metals. Is what she wanted. A little bit more rustic in style. So it kind of matches the idea of the food.
So you have a bar up here. You have kind of a wine bar over here. You have
Yes.
some outside areas here.
We have an outside patio as well. We've got a separate room for private dining. We can seat up to 30 at one table in there. We can do 50 for a cocktail reception in that room. It's got its own bar. It's got its own TV. It's really neat. It's a really nice room.
So what's fun for you in doing this?
What's fun for me is the food, the menu, the design of it, being able to change it whenever we want to change it. I'm at the farmers markets around here twice a week at least. So whatever's seasonal and new that's coming in, we're going to go buy it. We're going to bring it in, try it out. If it doesn't work, we move on. That's the fun part, is that.
So when you're talking about the farmers market, they have one in Calabasas, they have one in Agora.
They have one in Agora, or I go to the Santa Monica one on Wednesday, which is one of the biggest ones in the city.
Sure. And what do you look for when you go to these farmers markets?
Well, first the seasonality of everything, and then sometimes I look for what's going to be unique. There's a lot of things out there that have really short seasons, so we try to grab some of those. Well, let's say that you're the melon farmer. You may have a melon that's only going to be around for 2 or 3 weeks. That's the biggest. So those kind of things we look for in the seasonality and what tastes good. Constantly tasting everything they have there.
So when someone comes here for a dining experience, what do you hope they come away with?
I hope they go away with that they had a great experience, a nice time. They had fun. It was relaxing. It was comfortable. There's nothing pretentious about what we do here. we're running a restaurant at the basic level of running a restaurant. It's about the food, it's about the service, it's about the guest. It's not about me as a chef having some ego on this is the way it has to be. You know what, if you don't like it that way, that's your opinion and a fantastic. We need to make it so that you enjoy it. That's what I'm here for every day. Is that if you want to change something up because you don't like it one way, well, let's change it for you. And the idea is that people come back knowing that they could have it the way they want to have it, or they can change things around. You know, the idea of those chefs with, you know, this is going to be the only way, it's kind of in the past. It's hard. You know, without a name like, you know, Wolfgang Puck or Joachim or, you know, Thomas Keller, I can't say it.
Right.
You know, because everyone's like, who's David Eno? How come he gets to tell me, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the idea. Of I don't have that name in this industry, and I want you to have a great experience. I want you and your wife to come in, have a great dinner, and know that, you know, you had something special. Maybe we taste some interesting salts we have here, or we taste something different.
So you went to culinary school. Was that something, you said you were looking for work at the time. Did it turn out to be more than you expected? Would you recommend that?
Culinary school?
Yeah, would you recommend that for young people looking for a profession? What would you tell people?
You know, I would say work a little bit in the industry first, and then go to the school. Make sure it's something you want to put a commitment into. From what I understand now, the price commitment is high. So to go to culinary school and come out of it and not really know what you're getting into, it's hard. You know, I'm here, you know, 12, 15 hours a day some days, and most every day. When I wasn't an owner in a restaurant, I was working, you know, 12 hours a day, you know, 5, 6 days a week. And you're working weekends. If you're willing to give up your weekends and holidays, fantastic. My wife was in this industry as well, so she understands it. So we may not celebrate Mother's Day on that Sunday, and we may have to celebrate it the week before or the week after. Birthdays, holidays, you know, that's how it works.
What's the creative reward for choosing this type of profession for you?
The creative reward is huge. I could create anything I want on the plate. You know, there's something new out there that we want to try it. Well, we're going to try it. We're going to work on it, see how it works out. And if it works, we put it on the plate. If not, we keep trying it.
And who are your testers, so to speak, when you cook?
Who are the testers? Obviously myself, my staff, and then my guests. The guests that are here. If we're trying something new, you know, you may be having dinner here, and I may bring you something out to say, can you try this and give me your opinion on it? Because ultimately, it's the guest that's sitting here that needs to enjoy it.
I'm curious, what do you think of these cooking shows on TV?
Which ones?
The cooking shows, you know,
know,
Hell's Kitchen, whatever.
There's so many out there now that there's a few that, you know, I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching the ones that are either cultural, that go to another country and explain the culture of that country, or ones that go to these factories and show you how things are made. The reality ones of the cooking shows, I don't watch too much.
It's tough to watch these guys beat up someone trying to make food, isn't it?
You know, it's good for TV.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. It's the way things were a long time ago. When I went to culinary school, I had a chef throw plates across the kitchen.
Really?
Yeah, it was part of it. You know, when I got out, my first sous chef position, I was working under a Japanese chef at Cafe Del Rey, and he would take a knife in his hand and yell at me with a knife in his hand.
Wow.
But it was just part of this industry before.
So how's it changed then? What are you
Well, I think the big companies, the big corporations, or the bigger companies, it's all about human resources now. It's all about being politically correct in the kitchen and making sure that, you know, you're nice to everyone.
But don't you think these type of shows spark interest in food? I mean, some, granted, may go a little too far, but don't they all, in a way, bring the attention to food, which is just something we need to live, but it kind of does make it interesting.
I think it educates a lot of people and gives a lot of people the willingness to try something different. So where before you may not have wanted to try something and someone could put it in front of you like, no, I don't eat that. Now you might want to try it because you saw it on TV and this chef in this city was making it on this show, and you may see it and go, wow, you know, let's try that. I think it's opened up a lot of people to the culinary industry that everything may have been just, meat and potatoes for them, and now they're opening their horizons to see other things or wanting to try other stuff. I think that part of it's great.
So do you think we're too much creatures of habit then, that we tend to eat the same thing all the time and we don't expand our horizons? I mean, you're the chef. Tell me.
I think some people are and some people aren't, but I think, even myself as a chef, I think there's a lot of chefs out here that we're all creatures of habit. We always go to our comfort food, or we eat a lot of the same stuff every day in the kitchen. But I think some people are, but I think a lot of people are opening themselves up these days. I think television, the internet, everything's opening it up for everybody. Where now you can, Google restaurants, in Calabasas, and how many pop up, and now you're going to try something different where before you always ate the same restaurant every week.
So you're going to take us in the kitchen today?
Of course.
And what do you plan to prepare for us today?
I don't know. We'll see what's back there right now.
So you don't have anything set. You're
No.
just going to kind of surprise us, and we're going to work through a couple of things.
All right. So this is a melon that came in from the farmer's market yesterday. My produce lady brought it over to try it. It's called a lemon drop melon. Mm-hmm. It's got a really unique lemon flavor to the melon, which is kind of strange. Not sweet at all. Whereas this one's a white honeydew.
Wow. They just look nice, though, don't they?
And this one's really interesting. This one will be really good, and we'll probably do a salad or something with it tonight, where we will probably do it with a little balsamic glaze on it. Whereas this one's called a white honeydew melon. It's super sweet, just tons of sugar in it.
Yeah.
So again, this one will probably be put under our mixed green salad. So we do a field green salad, and it has a fresh fruit component to it. Lately we've been using strawberries. Tonight we're going to put some melon into it.
Nice.
So it's candied pecans, the mixed greens, the balsamic vinaigrette. We'll do a little fruit in there. It's a nice combination. This one here we'll probably maybe do prosciutto and melon with it tonight. A little balsamic glaze with it will just really peak that lemon flavor in it. But yeah, it's a really different flavor for it. Also got in some heirloom tomatoes, so we'll be working with these tonight as well.
So those are in season now, right? So
These are in season now. The tomato season is just starting to peak. The hot weather's really helped it out, so we're starting to get some interesting things in. This is a brandy wine. There's the green zebras are in here. We'll see how all these taste. They're a little different. This one's really firm and hard.
That's a tomato?
This is a tomato as well.
What kind of tomato is that? Is it
don't-
ripe?
It's ripe.
Oh, it is. Okay.
So it's just, so this one will make for a nice salad. These white plain, maybe do with like a buffalo mozzarella or something. So those are just a few of the things that we get in. Fish comes in daily. Make sure all my fish is sustainable. Been working with a company in New Zealand that does a king salmon, farm-raised king salmon. That's just a phenomenal product. I got a fish vendor in Santa Barbara that overnights me fish. Got a guy in Hawaii that I buy fish from as well. So we get it from everywhere. Our meats, all natural grass-fed meats we try to stick with. And then what we do with everything else is we have a salt component to a lot of things because of the name. So, here's a few of the salts. I got probably about 40 different salts. So if you like, this is an Aussie flake salt, very mild, very clean, almost like a snowflake in your mouth. So you go ahead and taste this one if you want to taste that a little bit. And then we use this one here, anything grilled. This one's a smoked salt.
Smoked salt.
So it's smoked with 7 kinds of wood.
Wow, that's interesting.
So, and then I've got spicy ones. I've got a ghost chili one. We use the hibiscus one here, which if you're familiar with the Mexican drink Jamaica, a lot of the same characteristics in it. It's just in a salt. So now you're looking at something that's got flour in it, citrus in it.
I had no idea there were so many kinds of salts.
Yeah, I've like I said, I've probably got about 40 different kinds here. Always something a little different to choose. The salt. This is my station back here, so I've got my own grinders that we use, balsamics, anything that we create. So any special items come off back here for me. We use the hotline for most of the dining room stuff and the cold side. But yeah, we put the salts with everything. So like if you took this salt here and put a little bit on this melon. It really brings out, it'll bring out the sweetness in the melon.
Salt on melon, so, right?
So what the salt does is it opens your palate. So now you'll get a little bit of that saltiness, but you'll get the sweetness of that melon will just really come out in your mouth now.
That's really good. I like that.
So
I had no idea. What do you tell people, though, who aren't big fans of salt?
you know, all the salts that we use, or most of the ones that we use that we put on the table, are all finishing salts. As much or as little as you like, the food's already seasoned, but it really helps out with some of the stuff.
And here's what do we got coming in here?
We got the meat coming in here right now.
There you go.
We got Kobe ground beef coming in, and chicken coming in today. Just put it over here for right now. Thank you.
There you go.
Any Puma? So, but yeah, with the use of salts, what we do is, like I said, they're all finishing salts. Use as much or as little as you like with it, and it just helps bring out the flavors in what you're eating. It really opens up your palate and really gets in there. So, I don't know if you ever eaten fruit off like the little Mexican stands. You know, they put that red chili on there. It has salt in it. And all that does is it helps open up your palate. It gives you a little bit different flavor to it. But with these melons, they're so nice. You know, I think these came from Weisner Farms. So these will probably be at the farmer's market on Saturday up in Calabasas.
Nice.
My salt guy is at the Calabasas farmer's market as well.
Your salt guy.
The salt guy.
There's a salt guy.
Yeah, he's got a little booth he has at the farmer's market, Hep Salt. He does the ghost chili, the smoked salt for us. He's got the Aussie flake. He does a lot of the different flavored salts. And just phenomenal products. He sources great quality stuff. And that's the biggest thing is for us is quality first.
So just because you're on a low sodium, low salt diet, you can still put a little bit on.
You know what? These are all natural salts.
The difference is what?
Less sodium than your iodized table salt.
I see.
So when they put you on a low sodium diet, they're asking you not to put as much table salt in. So if we're using an all natural product, you're using a lot less than iodized table salt, and you're still getting a lot more flavor out of it. So whether it's, you know, the Aussie flake, this is one of my favorites. It just kind of melts in your mouth. Or some of the flavored ones, like the hibiscus, might be great on fruit. It's just a little flavor enhancer that we put on there.
Cool.
So, seared tuna. And what it is it's Hawaiian tuna that we've put a little ponzu sauce on. So we just kind of sear the tips of it, and then help the sauce kind of caramelize onto it.
That's cool.
And then what we do is we finish it with this is it looks like caviar, but it's made with soy sauce. So it's called a soy caviar. It's pretty neat. It gives it this really neat, unique flavor here.
So your background is what?
My ethnic background?
Yeah.
I'm Japanese.
Okay.
4th generation, so the family's been here a really long time. Over
But
100 years.
your culinary background seems to kind of encompass all different times of ethnic food.
It has.
Yeah.
It has. I did Asian fusion for a long time with Cafe Del Rey, which was a lot of fun. You know, that was back in the 80s when everyone was doing Asian fusion. You know, that was the big thing. You know, I guess we could kind of thank Wolfgang for that.
Yeah.
You know, he kind of brought that to the forefront. And then I've done, you know, I did wine country food with Napa Valley Grill. Grand Havana Room, I was there for a little while. That was a little bit more of, that was a membership club. So it was basically whatever the members wanted. I opened up the L'Ermitage Hotel in Beverly Hills, and that was a little bit more Mediterranean inspired. Kind of similar to what we're doing here in that, you know, right now what you see in front of you is pretty much what we have going on to the plates. There is not a lot of sauces. We create sauces to order if we do. But this fish here has got so much oil and so much flavor in it that it's not going to need anything special to go with it.
Oh boy, that mushroom macaroni and cheese was absolutely amazing, as was absolutely everything we had here at Salt today. We'd like to thank the owner and chef for his time, and that's going to do it for this edition of City Spotlight. We hope you've enjoyed the program, and more importantly, we hope next time you're here along Agora Road, you give this new restaurant a try. I'm Pablo Pereira. Thanks for joining us.